What fashion means to me does not necessarily apply to the next person. That is why it's very important for us to engage in a fashion discourse so that we bring all our point of views on the same table to push the fashion industry forward. Today I had the privilege to speak to my friend Keketso Karabo Nthibane about the future of Karabo Studios in Rosebank. Come through as we have a great sit and chat with her. A warm welcome to Artisans of the World. It's me again, Biyo Dodori, and today I'm with a stunning friend of mine. Her name is Keketso Karabo Nthibane. She is a fashion designer, a stylist, model sometimes, and she's the creative director and owner of Karabo Studios. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you, doll?
I'm good. You look stunning as always. I mean, look at that.
Thank you. You look stunning to me.
Thank you so
much. As you know,
thank you.
We do this. We do this. We try to be. Yeah.
How has it been?
It's been great. It's been growing. It's been fun. I don't want to lie. I'm tired right now because it's the end of the year, but it's been really fun. I don't want to lie. I've experienced a lot of people through the things or through the journey that I've now had, especially this year. I love to say that this year was one of my biggest years yet. Like my brand just started this year.
I'm happy to hear that.
But I've been doing this since 2020.
Wow.
2020. Yeah, I opened Karabo Studios. Let me say that.
In 2020.
In 2020.
I remember when we used to work together. You've mentioned to me that.
I've mentioned a lot.
You've mentioned to me that one of the greatest things you want to do and to settle in is to be an all-round creative, because your expertise are not just in design. They're in styling, they're in modeling, and you understand the entire creative process.
Yes, I think so. I still am on that realm of life. Another thing that I like to say is God gave me many talents and many parts of me, and I'm gonna explore all of them. I feel like I'm doing a disservice to myself if I don't explore every little part of me. Even I've been doing murals now. I'm painting again, which is great. That's one of my talents that I really hold very near and dear to my heart. But yeah, I'm very stern on if I can figure next year furniture.
I love that. I think I also do quite a few things. I mean, you know that you're my close friend, and I know that the healing I get from music is different from what I get when I do modeling and I train models. And when I create fashion as well, the level of freedom and the healing I get from it is different as well.
Yeah.
Within everything that you do, what would you say takes you to that place of peace more than the other, if there is?
I think my place of peace is true, to the core of me. I've always been an arts and craft scrapbook girl. You see, now I'm doing, that's my next project. Just doing arts and craft really and painting. That's why I don't want to sell my painting or to make it into a business. I do want it to still be a part of me that I go back to when I need to calm down, I think, and rediscover myself or rediscover who I am as an artist before I am, because I'm an artist before I'm a designer. You know what I mean? That's being an artist is where I found fashion, and where I found I can be a designer, or I can be a stylist, or I can even be a model.
Yeah.
So I think that place for me is definitely doing arts and craft. It sounds like I'm doing just bitch work, but painting and doing, making my furniture or upcycling stuff, that's really where I start over. Yeah.
I know you've told me that your mom took you to a sewing school in grade 11.
In grade 11.
And that already says a lot. It means you knew long ago that
I knew a long time ago. I knew in grade 6, yo babes, I'm not doing anything. When I grew up, I literally am what I thought I was going to be when I grow up.
That's amazing.
Maybe
I
think so. Maybe I am not where I thought I would have a private jet by now. But
Did you all? Did you all?
but this is where I thought my life would be. I knew my life would be working with stars like I am right now, working with legends like I am right now, being a fashion creative. Not a fashion creative, but being a creative in itself. And then in high school, that's when I found fashion. And by like grade 9, I was like, I'm going to lisof.
I think in Johannesburg, you'll
going
find a lot of creatives.
Yes.
And among the creatives, there's a lot of people who call themselves designers, who call themselves models and everything.
Get into it.
But it's also not our place to judge them, because I think what's nice about Johannesburg, you can be anything and everything.
It's a city of dreams.
You took this profession and you respected it enough, and you were blessed enough to go to a private school, which is lisof. That was my dream. I wanted to go to lisof. I couldn't. How was it?
Lisof was a journey.
Tell me about it.
Lisof was a journey. I don't want to lie. Lisof was a journey. It was something. I think it was not what I thought fashion school was going to be. I don't want to lie to you. I think maybe me and my friends made it what it was going to be. Me and my friends were dressed up every day. Like, people will tell you, if we went to the Pretoria campus when I was there, I would go to school in heels. I was one of those girls in the midst, not even like just from the beginning.
And that is really important
Like,
as a designer.
I was going there with like makeup done. Like, I was really in my creative bag, or like being like a fashion girl. You know, I'm gonna be a fashion girl. But being in lisof like really taught me the foundation of being a professional in fashion. But I think not being a designer, like being a designer, I didn't learn in school. I did not learn.
What do you
in school.
mean? Because I hear a lot of people say, some people say designers are born, some people say designers are trained. However, in fashion school, they do say they teach you how to be a designer, but you need to
have that skill. You need to have that, like, that thing in you. Like, you.
What is being a designer?
Woo! Being a designer is me. But I think being a designer is really knowing the ins and outs of fashion, and not just like being able to make clothing. You can't call you need to be able to make patterns. You need to be able to understand patterns. You need to be able to understand fabrication. You need to be able to understand textiles. You need to be able to understand drawing at the very beginning. You need to know how to make clothes. Like, I feel like for me, when I say someone is a designer, I can put you on the machine, you'll know how to thread it at the very least.
I hear your perspective.
Because I think a lot of people are more creative directors than they are designers. Yes, which is absolutely okay, by the way. Everybody, it's cool.
I love your perspective, because I also believe that being a designer, you need a skill to be able to take things into your own hands.
Yes.
You can make, because design is making.
Yes.
Directing is controlling and delegating. And those are two different things. And I love that you look at it from an artisanal point of view, to say you should be able to make, to say I am a designer.
Yes. It's like, not everybody can call themselves a painter or like an artist. You can recognize art. You can be an enthusiast of the arts. You can even tell stories about art. But if you don't make the art, you're not the artist. You're like part of the ecosystem of being an artist. And I think that's fine. I think a lot of people see it as if, like, if I don't say I'm a designer, you don't matter. You matter in this space for you, but you are not a designer, and that's okay. You're a creative director, and your work as a creative director is also still great. That's why people need, even designers need creative directors. Even designers need like an ecosystem of things in order for your brand or the vision that you have to be part of the I've been saying ecosystem too many times. To be part of the fashion industry, like as an industry, you need a team, you need people behind you, you need people that help you. So just because I say I'm a designer because I've studied design, I know how to make, even though you haven't studied design, you can be a designer. You can, because you know how to make the clothes, you understand the making of clothing, the starting from like fabric, or starting from like wool, or starting from yarn, to making it into a garment, to making it into a different piece. I think that is being a designer. Being a creative director is having people that can do those things, and then the vision literally comes from
Profound,
you.
yes.
And that's fine. That's absolutely okay.
I agree. I love it whenever I meet someone who share the same principles as me, respecting being able to make as a designer, because I mean, we studied for so many years for what we do, and not that we want to be recognized for what we studied for, but it shows the level of respect we have for what we do.
Yeah.
And my next question to you is, what do you think is the biggest importance of being an all-rounder creative, being able to make things? As you're a stylist, you're a model, you direct shoots, you run your own studio, you run your own fashion label. I mean, these are a lot of things that, of course, you can't do everything with your own hands at once, but what is the importance of being able to step in whenever there's a gap?
I think for me, it works very well. It worked very well for me this year. I don't want to lie. Like, being able to understand all those different parts, I can be able to direct, I can be able to facilitate, and I can be trusted. I think, I think I can be trusted to, because I understand clothing and the making of clothes, I can be trusted to style, kind of, or understand that because this thing was made like this, you can't dance in it. Or because this thing was made like this, if you're going to be up all night, you need to make sure your nails are not long, for instance, because I know how that fabric works, or how that, whatever, I know, I know.
True, yes.
So it's easy. I think for the clients that I've styled, it has been easy for them to trust me, or to be like, I know she will look at all the other things and everything, and she's done what she needed to do, or figure out what she needed to do in order to make the vision come to life. But being an all-rounder is tiring.
How?
It's tiring because I feel like I can do it all by myself.
True.
Like,
And sometimes
I don't
you're not satisfied enough.
I'm not satisfied enough, because I feel like people, one, when you work with people, they don't see what you see in your head. You did my stitch wrong, but it's fine. I'll figure it out. And there's been a lot of clothes that I've gotten from my tailors that I've like reworked. Do you get me? I think maybe it's because Lynn, I don't know how to give instructions properly, perhaps.
No. That is the power of knowing. Firstly, going to a traditional fashion school, you learn the principles and the basics. You also learn the professional route, so that you know what quality is, and you get to benchmark your quality as someone who runs your brand.
Yes.
And if you do not have that as a creative director or as a designer, you will struggle when it comes to delegating. You will accept anything everyone gives you, because in the world of fashion, we have different opinions and point of views. And if you didn't set yours, if you didn't groom yours properly from a school that molded that for you, you will go to a tailor and they will give you this stitch. They'll give you a flat felt, and they will say it's a French seam.
It's a French seam.
You will take it and you take it to people.
And you'll take it and you'll be fine with it. And those seams are two different things. For different uses, but let's not get into it. I think, I think my biggest issue has been I can do it all. Like, I promise you I can do it all. There's been weeks where I had to make clothes myself. I had to do the production. I had to go be a model. I had to go be a stylist, which means I had to run around finding jewelry, fetching this, going to source, when I could have people that do that. It's just that, like, I feel like it's so difficult to find someone that has the same kind of vision as you, or understands your vision at the very least. Do you know what I mean? So there's certain things that I'm like, okay, if I give this to my tailor, then like maybe he'll understand it. He'll get it. If I can explain this, he can get it. But this one I have to do on my own. And I don't think that's sustainable. I promise you. It's not sustainable. It's sustainable now because I'm a small business, but it's not going to be sustainable for long enough. Yeah, because I can't do it all. Like, we get it, girl. You are talented, but like, relax.
Because there are a lot of creatives who are in the same spot where you are, and I can relate fully because I'm very obsessive and very possessive with what comes from me as a brand.
Yes.
However, when would you say it's the time to realize that you need to let go. And by letting go is, I know I want to do this, but I don't have the capacity.
Then
Just the time, right?
when you're saying I know I have to, like, when you feel like I actually don't have the capacity, like even if I try to do pool like all nighters this week, you know you're not gonna stay up for a whole week. You're gonna die. Do you get me? When you feel like I can take on this work, there's projects that you in your heart you want to do, and you're like, this is gonna look good for my CV, or for like just my credibility as a designer or as a stylist or as a creative or whatever. But if I do it by myself, I won't finish. And that's even worse. Like not finishing and not showing up and not like committing to the promise that you made to your client or to the person that or to the project that you were supposed to be a part of, because you're trying to do everything all at once. When you have no capacity, look for people, but also look for people when you do have capacity. Do you understand? Because when you don't have capacity, you're already stressed out and you're just gonna find anything and anyone quickly. So I think right now, like now, when I do have capacity to, I can do it on my own. But now when I'm planning to grow, is the time for me to look for a team that can grow with me. And also you can teach your team. You have enough time. When it gets to that hectic deadline or that hectic big thing that you want to do, then like everybody knows how you work. Everybody is on board. Everybody knows that you like your seams this thin, you like your boning like this, you like your thread to match, you like this, your top stitching must look like this, your beading must be done like this, your appliques must be done like this. And then you don't have to spend so much time while you don't have time explaining what you do. Do you know what I mean? So it's very important to look for a team when you have capacity, so that when you get to the point where you don't have capacity, you know who to call out to. Do you get?
I do.
Yeah.
What I always ask myself is,
I don't know where to find a team, by the way. I'm looking.
I mean, maybe someone is
Searching.
watching and they're like,
Please
"Join the team."
help me.
What would you say you're looking for? What is the biggest skill that you think you would like to outsource, or you often outsource, and you would like to house full time, maybe to have a full staff?
I
full-time
literally
staff?
need like a tailor and a seamstress. I'm not looking for much. I need a tailor and a seamstress. I have someone that helps me with crocheting, because that's another skill that I've now put into the business. And she's great. I love working with her because she gets it. I think I'm looking for people that get the aesthetic of the things that I'm. Before, saying aesthetic sounds so shallow, but like for instance, when we worked with Sihle, we knew how Sihle's work is. So you aim to make.
I didn't know.
Bitch, you knew.
I didn't.
You
When I
knew.
started, I did not.
Yes, when you started, you didn't.
Yes.
But as you go, by like the third week, you knew. Do you get me? So whenever you were working, you knew, man, Sihle wouldn't do like work like that, you know. But like I can go to a wardrobe sourcing house. Like I was at Stylist Own, and I was like, that's Sihle's work. That's Sihle's work. That's Sihle's work. Because I knew
this.
I know
True.
how it works. You know the aesthetic. You know the kind of like look and feel that they bring to the brand, or the brand, or how they make things. Because somebody can make a beaded leotard, but it won't be the way Sihle makes it, for instance. You know, it won't be the way I would make it, for instance. But it would be the same concept, but you need to get the aesthetic.
Yeah.
So that's what I think I'm looking for. I think I'm looking for someone that gets, like when I say, I can give you as thorough like instructions as I want. But if you don't get the final look, you're just focused on like finishing.
Also, the importance of knowing how to teach is important as a designer, because
Yes, and I don't think I have that skill.
you do.
You think so?
We all do.
To me, I don't think I know how to teach people.
You learn. You learn how to teach people, because if you always need to refer to your teachers, your lecturers. I mean, we went to school for so many years, you know, and you always need to refer back to the people you've worked for, where you've studied. If you have one, that is why you need to start one step at a time. And you are good at tailoring, you're good at patterns, and you have someone else. The first thing, obviously, you give them a block if you need to, or just to see where they struggle, and then you step in. Certain things are simple and there are certain that are complex. However, it's an ongoing process where I think you will need to bring back your team, remind them of what the ethos of the brands are, to show them maybe 2 different productions to be like, this is the skirt and this is a skirt. Which one is a Karabo Studio skirt?
Yeah.
This one, why? This is how it looks. This is what quality looks.
The fabrics.
It will take long. However, it's an ongoing process. And I believe when you teach people that you work with, on the people who work with you in your space, they respect you more and they want to come back because they know that they gain. You don't just leave them to the last moment and then you shout at them for not producing the quality you expect.
Yeah.
So I really do believe we have it in us. It's a matter of, it's
Jimmy,
not
you're
easy.
saying that because you are actually an educator, girl. Yeah.
But it's not only that. I've not always been.
You have. I feel like you've always had that thing in you. Like even from the first time I met you, I knew like this one unalago teacher man.
My friends say that. I've always taught. I've always taught.
Even with like modeling, you teach modeling. Like that's
and I've never
crazy.
modeled. I'm not a model.
Exactly. That's freaking insane.
I think it's having the eye for. I have a perspective and I know the quality I would expect to see, and I'm a big critic of so much, especially when it's things that I love, from netball to music to modeling to fashion. So for me to not sit back and moan about it, I need to step in and show you how to do it and see how you would reinterpret it in your own way. Then we can have a conversation. Because if I sit at the back and I look at what you do and then don't intervene and share what I think I know or how I would do things, then there will be an issue. I would like to think it's also passion, you know.
It is.
Teaching is passion because it's not easy.
It's not. I know it's not easy. I think maybe because I still consider myself a student.
Never. Never. After so many years, you graduated long ago. There's no way.
I graduated like 2021. Yes. That's not a long time. That's like 3 years ago.
It's a long time. 3 years is a full period for a degree, so that's a long time.
Fair.
But you're not wrong. I really do believe once you graduate in fashion, that's where you really become a true student, because now you are seeking information for yourself and you are consciously taking in that information because you that's when you are aware of what other people know and what you do not know. And as a result, you are so humbled to a point where you just have to learn so much.
You have to learn everything. Yeah, you have to learn everything. Like I just freaking learned a new skill. Like I learned crocheting this year.
Really?
Yes.
I've been trying to crochet.
It's so easy. It's so easy.
I can't do that. I can't.
Really?
I can't do. I can only do like a basic. I don't know what you call them, but like with only one hook, and I would put my.
Yes, that's a crocheting. I don't know how to knit.
Yeah.
The two.
But I can't do shapes. I can only do a square. I can't. I wouldn't. The things you do, the shorts and the bras. Yeah. For me, that is so complex.
Jimmy, no, it's not complex because you're a designer and you understand patterns. You understand how to make something that's flat into 3D, right? It's fun. Therefore, if you can make a square, what can you make with a square? A freaking skirt. A skirt is basically a square, which is contouring.
I get it, but you are not stitching the shape. You are creating it from the knit.
Yes, that's true. I get what you mean. Anyway,
okay,
but it's easy. I feel like you can do it. If you really apply yourself, you can do it.
You see, that's where you're a teacher. You see, we all have it in us.
I think so. But I don't think I'm a teacher. There's still so much I need to learn.
Tell me, how did you get to work with Sihle? Because that is where we met. Sihle Masango. He is an amazing fashion designer. He's a couturier.
Yeah.
And we used to work in London House. That's where he had a studio, and that's where we met. How did you get to work for him? Because
didn't he take out a thing?
I also saw that post.
Yeah.
He was looking for.
Tell me, I think the same day when I saw it, I sent my CV.
Really?
Like I was desperate. I was so desperate. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. What am I gonna do?
Did you know the brand prior seeing the post?
Yes, I did. I followed Sisha since SA Fashion, not SA Fashion Week.
Project Runway.
Okay. And then I met him at one matric dance he was doing, where my friend was doing the makeup. She's like, this big designer's gonna be there. And he was on Project Runway. You should come. Come with me, Jimmy. Come. I'll just say you're my assistant. Just come. And like, we barely didn't even meet. Like he just said hi. I said hi. Like he was busy. He had a client. And then fast forward, we did the thing. And
because we had the interview same day, but I didn't see you.
Yes, you came.
Wait, was it the same day?
It was the same day.
It was raining.
You were the last person to come.
I was late.
Yes, because you thought you were better than everyone.
No, it's not that. It's not that really. I was late. You know what happened that day? It's actually my drive. No, it was me, not my driver. I wanted to put in a show. You know, I got a beautiful package for my portfolio, and I was sewing my outfit day before because I was like, I'm not going to wear the same outfit that everyone has seen. and I didn't sleep that night, and I was delayed. And just to think about it, I was 10 minutes away from the studio. I was in Auckland Park, and they were in 27 boxes.
Yes.
Yes.
I think I sucked at the like.
There's no way.
I honestly feel like CK hired me because I was the personality hire.
There's no way.
I promise you, he'll have to.
Maybe he will comment and
Yeah,
I don't think so. Sika really loved you, and he really respected your work. Remember, we got fired in the same week. We were fired in the week of the internship, and
who's we?
You.
Who's we?
Okay, myself and the rest of other people.
So we were fired. You weren't part of the people.
We were all fired. All of us. All of us were
You're
fired.
crazy.
I think so. Yeah, we were fired.
No,
but
not everyone.
Then I was called back, but the rest of the people.
Yeah, I was
It
never
was
fired.
charmed.
I genuinely feel like, because that time I struggled with like threading. I just said people must know how to thread an industrial machine, but I haven't worked with an industrial machine since like school, right? And even then at school, like there was only one, and you didn't work with it like really that much. I just used my machine, babes. And then on top of that, I'm left-handed. The scissors don't work. Yeah.
I forgot you're left-handed. Oh no.
Guys, it's a real struggle. I feel like people don't realize, like, when you're left-handed, fabric scissors don't work. They don't work. Like the fabric scissors that everybody uses, they don't work. I have to buy my own freaking scissors.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I just feel, I honestly don't know why. I just think I was a personality hire. And then they figured out, oh, she's actually not so bad. Like, oh, she's teachable. And I had long nails. Like,
Of course, if I was to interview someone and they come with long nails, and I'm expecting someone who's hands-on, the first thing is, do you work with those nails? And if they're like, yeah, these are my everyday nails, I'm like, okay, put it to the test. I know there's people who can work with long nails.
I can if it's like a stiletto.
You came to work looking like you are going
Please
for.
don't piss me off when you came to work looking like this every day.
I mean, we different. I didn't expect. We different. You
I think you say that
jewelry, you
because
had
I'm
pearls.
like, yes, because I'm like I'm more streetwear than you are.
But you would make streetwear look very high fashion.
Thank you.
Because you would be in your jeans and a crop top and platform flats, and then beautiful hair. You change your hair like your underwear. And then you had jewelry for days, pearls, and then this. And I would always ask you, where did you get this? Where did you get that? And what I loved about you, to always give a plug. I got this here, and this is how much. I got this there, this is how much. You should go there and here. That's one thing I love about you. You always give a plug.
I don't gatekeep, except for my jewelry. I'm gatekeeping my jewelry right now because I'm opening a jewelry brand soon.
Oh, stunning.
Yeah, so I'm not giving.
But I know where you get your jewelry.
I know you know.
Yeah. Apart from that, what was your favorite thing working at Masango?
I think working at Sitley's made me realize how much actually I like beading and embellishments and shit like that. Like, I was like, I fucking found it. Like, I literally felt like, yes, I found it. Like,
Richard Scatter.
Yeah. Because I've done, before Sitley, I went to House of Ule, which is my uncle. I did my internship there the year before I graduated. I did a little bit, like a 2-week long internship with Matt Nolan. I don't know if you know him.
No.
And then I went to, what else did I do? And then I did a lot of creative direction with Nandi, who's a photographer. And then we did a lot of work with my friend Ned. But even in those moments, I still didn't figure out, like, what is it that I want to do? Do you get me? But when I worked for Sitley, I was like, I caught on to this shit so quickly. Can I swear? Sorry.
No. But it's okay. We'll let that slip.
I caught on to it so quickly. Like, I was like, okay, yeah, it's my thing. Not like how he does it, because like he does it at a different, like way different than I would. But like when I saw that, I was like, this is what I've been looking for all my life. Like, this is where I needed to be for a while. Like, I learned so much from working under Sitley, even after you left, right? Like, I assisted him.
Did I leave you there?
You left me there.
Really?
I was literally last man standing.
Wow.
Yeah, you left me the following year because you got.
Yeah.
You went to go work at Felisa, right?
I was at UJ.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he left me there. I stayed there for a couple of months and then I left.
One thing I loved about working there is that Sitley would show up. Sitley would show for his clients.
Yes.
When there is a communication glitch, and
He made sure
Bulelani,
everyone would
they will
come
make
in.
sure the client is fine, the business can suffer, it's okay. But what's important is the brand and the service that we deliver. And for me, that was my favorite thing, you know. And
Like they took themselves seriously, like seriously.
and their clients as well. I mean, they gave them an entire couture experience. It was just beyond the clothing. Having a designer himself come to your place to dress you and to fit you, and it's things that you don't see.
I think that's
often.
what I took from him. I always like try and dress my clients. Some clients don't really care to be dressed, but especially with like the matric dance girls, right? It's their first like designer moment.
Yes.
Like, why would you want to strip them off for just giving them like an intern girl? You know what I mean? Like, and they're coming to you because of you. I think one thing I learned that I was told, right, when I was in a deep dark hole, I was told that like people are buying your stuff or people are coming to you for you. Because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of designers, there's a lot of people that are doing maybe something that I'm doing, the same thing that I'm doing. We could all sell t-shirts, you know, but they're coming because of you. They're coming because of the way you represent yourself, the way you present yourself to people, the way you show up for yourself, for the fashion that you do. Like people, I think people trust me because of the way I dress.
No.
I promise you,
No.
I've gotten so many jobs.
I don't think they
Because
they
of the way I dress.
respect you for your looks. I think they respect you for your knowledge. I believe.
You think so?
I
Jimmy, you
believe-
put me on a very high pedestal, hey?
Because I've worked with you. I know how you are, you know?
Fair.
And for me, I'm a very flamboyant person for my aesthetic. But I got to know very well that when I sit on tables and when I work with people, they overlook everything else. Their focal point is what's in the brain because they get to respect me even more. People will be attracted to you based on how you look, but the minute they speak to you, the minute they experience your work, only those two can keep you in a space for more than an hour.
That's true. That
and
is
I believe
true.
it applies to you. You run like you run an entire fashion label,
Business, yeah.
and you do multiple things. When you're styling people and when you're making clothes for people, it's not your look. They're not trying to look like you.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true. You're right. You're right. You're right.
But it is important to
dress. No, I've gotten a lot of jobs. Like this year, I was very intentional about upgrading my style and like really getting, because I want to consider myself a maximalist because
you are. You are.
you know,
As someone who is also a maximalist.
Yeah.
And you are gold, I'm silver.
So, yeah. And I'm much, you know, and I play with color a lot. But I was very intentional about making, about with my personal style, to be quite honest. I was very intentional about like, because in my head, I knew, man, I like these things, but I don't dress like the things that I like. Do you get me? So this year I was very intentional about like put on the ridiculously big chains and the big pants and the two colors. Like I was very, not that I was not like that. It's just like I feel I was more toned down before. Now I'm like, I'm going in.
And it's okay. I think we all evolve. It's
going
evolution
in.
of who you are as a designer and as a person. When you look at people like Karl Lagerfeld, Karl Lagerfeld has always been a maximalist when it comes to his own aesthetic. However, when you look at when he was younger in comparison when he was in his senior age, when he was in his senior age, he was so extra. He will put 15 rings at the same time and put pearls and all this
everything,
jewelry,
and then the hair, and
white
the
hair, you know.
yeah.
But back then, it was not like that. However, everything links to who he's always been. So I think it is the evolution of who you are as a creator.
I think so. I feel myself growing. I don't want to lie. But I am because of the people around me. I think even as a designer, like the people that I keep, like people love to draw inspiration from people so far away. Like you want to draw inspiration from like Christian Dior.
Like me.
Yeah, like me.
I'm
calling you out.
I mean, it's not, I do draw inspiration locally.
No, I'm not saying
from a
like,
realistic point of view.
No, not even like that. I just think for me, I was really inspired by the company I keep. Do you get me? Like you, for instance. Like I think I took.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I took production very seriously when I met you because you love the beauty in like the making before the final product. Do you get what I mean? And then I have a makeup artist friend. Her name is Lesedi. Lesedi is like,
Shout out to you, Lisette.
love her tons. Lesedi, like, she has this eye for like makeup and beauty that, like, when I met her, I was like, this girl, like, she taught me a lot, and I don't think she realizes like how much of her that I carry in like the way I do my makeup, in the way I interact with people when I do have makeup, in just the beauty aspect of it all, like with makeup and all those things. And like Tabang, like the way he thinks and the quirkiness of who he is, and like Ndlandla, like he's very curious about everything. Like there's so many people around me that I'm like, damn, you guys' brains are amazing. You know what I mean? Like my sister, I take so much with like the compassion that she has for people. And I'm like, I put that with like how I interact with my clients. You know, like I am, because of the company that I keep. You know, that's why like I love my community so much, like so much. There's so many other people that I didn't mention. Don't think I don't love you, and I'm not inspired by you.
But that goes against what a lot of people think about designers. I know people look at designers as, we don't talk to anyone. You walk into the
this
studio,
boring ass person.
devil wears Prada.
Introvert is like, no.
They don't talk. When
I
they're
wanna talk to
sketching, you don't
everybody.
open their office, and you're going to show them twirls at 8 a.m. And then they're like, I don't like this, I don't like that,
this,
change
yeah.
that. And then they move on.
And then they just leave and go have a cocktail, like a dirty martini at some jazz bar that's dark.
Is that not you?
That's not me. That's not me. No, I love people. I think like I'm loud. I've always
Also, I
been
think
loud.
females are often perceived as mean. You know, when I watch Devil Wears Prada, I don't think there is a movie equivalent to how that particular individual is portrayed in the movie, but in a setting of a male, in, you know, like a male.
The males are
male
usually
figure.
just like maybe a little bit depressed. They are like someone that you sympathize with. The women are like powerful, like and like, whoa, don't want to touch her, you know. But with the men, it's like, oh, the crazier he is, or like the more like, you know, YSL. You know how Yves Saint Laurent was, like he was laid back. He would go and smoke a cigarette at the corner, but he was mysterious, so everybody wanted to know. But we loved the way he thought. With the Devil Wears Prada is like Miranda Presley. We were scared. We are so scared. Like women can be horrible, you know. And it's like, I don't think so. I don't think so. A lot of designers that I've met that are women are some of the nicest people. I've met more mean as men. Okay?
Yeah, you worked with Olele Demo.
Yes.
And I remember when we were working at London House, you've mentioned how that was a very pivotal experience in your career.
Yes.
How it shaped your perspective of fashion. Because you started there before graduating, right?
Yes.
How was it?
I did I don't know if it was an internship or it was a favor. I contacted him because he's one of my dad's best friends, so he's technically my uncle. I contacted him and then I said, like, I think in that year, second year, I just felt like I don't know what actually the fashion industry in South Africa is. So I need to figure that out. I need to go see what that is about. So I contacted him. I'm like, I need to just like help. I'm in the same industry as you. I would love to see how it works for real in the industry, outside of school, outside of making patterns and going home. You know, I want to see where the patterns end up. I want to see the process. You know, so I did an internship with House of Ole. I think in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it was pre-COVID, so 2019 for the last portion of the year. So maybe I think September until like November, for about a couple of months. And that really not shaped, I don't want to say shaped, but I think that like changed my perspective and radicalized me in a way that I was able to see the real workings. Like it goes from him saying, we have a client, goes to the other room, the tailor, or briefs the tailor in the briefing room, and he had a beautiful house. Like he had a house with a beautiful garden, and this one room was his office, and then it was a beautiful passage with all his like work on the walls, and then there was an art room,
Ooh,
like where he would paint.
really?
Yes. Oh, amazing. Like it had
Wow. I
canvases
didn't know
all
that about him.
It had canvases everywhere, and like paintings he's done and all these things. And then there was a briefing room, and then down the hall and the other side of the house, that's where the production was, right? And I spent most of my time that side because I really just also wanted to learn how to make clothes for people, and like, because at school you learn how to make one size.
Yes.
You know, I wanted to know like what happens when this person is not a size 32. Do you get me?
You were born in the Free State.
Yes, I was born in Bloemfontein Mangaung.
What would you say to just somebody listening to this and they're in the Bloemfontein and they believe that fashion is Johannesburg, Cape Town, maybe Durban or Pretoria?
You're not lying. It really is. But being in those small towns, because Bloemfontein is a small town, it doesn't mean it's not possible for you. It was possible for me, you know. It's possible. I think anybody, anywhere, if you have a dream, especially in the time that we live in, don't think you won't be able to do it because you're too far from the people that are already doing it. What if you're supposed to be the pioneer of doing it in there? There's also Free State Fashion Week, I think, fashion community in Bloemfontein, I think. But you're not wrong. In South Africa, the fashion industry is it's basically in Johannesburg and Cape Town. The fashion production, yes, is in Durban, is in Cape Town, and sometimes in Joburg. But the fashion industry, the socials, the meeting people, the PR, the whatever, Cape Town and Johannesburg, you're right. But wherever you are, you can 100% start there. There's fabric stores there. I've made things in Bloemfontein. There's you also live in 2024. Google, YouTube, you can do it all. Life is like filled with endless possibilities. It's difficult, but it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. You really just have to apply yourself. It's very important to apply yourself as a person. If you feel in your heart, I actually want to do like fashion. I want to then look for it. If you look for something, you'll find it. You know how to look for things that really don't matter. You know how to search people's phones. You know how to figure out someone's energy. Uguti, they don't like you from just a look. But you don't know how to figure things out for your success or for your talent that you actually know you have. Even if you want to be an artist, start drawing.
In my language, they say, "Uzoyithola kanjani uhleli khona?"
Exactly.
Now, speaking about your brand, Karabo Studios,
Yeah.
what is Karabo Studios?
Karabo Studios is me. It's a fashion and design company. It's not a fashion design company. It's a fashion and design. Because I think
love that.
I say that because I am more than just fashion. We are planning, like I'm saying we, like in means of the community and the people that help Karabo Studios be Karabo Studios. But we are going to be and are planning to be more than just staying in fashion. I want to do art. I want to do interior. But yes, my thing will always be at the basis of fashion. But the things that I put out will always be fashion and design. You know, it is design. Like the way I move is fashion and design. It's design, it's fashion. It's not them together, but it's them as different entities as well. You know, but currently we are a fashion house. I am the marketing, I am the PR, I am the designer, I am the tailor, I am the couturier, I am the beadwork person, I am the crochet person, I am everything in between. However, we do have people that help. there's people that help. I am building a team. We specialize in custom clothing.
Okay.
We've been doing a lot of evening wear.
Direct to customer.
But we are pivoting. We're pivoting. I'm doing more ready to wear right now, or I'm leaning towards ready to wear. I'm leaning towards building something that's more accessible to a lot of people. I would love people to experience Karabo Studios. I would love a lot more people to experience the kind of style and design that we have to bring, and that will be leaning towards maximalism. It will be wardrobe, interchangeable wardrobe items that are styled up, that are colorful, that like bring a sense of joy and nostalgia and a little bit of me. I think I like the things that I do is just like parts of me, and I think I'm great enough for people to experience. There's a lot of pieces of me that people should experience. I always say, like, I don't think I'm going to change the world, but I would love to feel the mind that will, and I think I can do that through the things that I do, the way that I present myself, the way I present my art, the way I put out my art, the way I make my art, the people I let into making the art with me. So from probably next year, from now, we've started that we are building a brand that will be accessible to a lot of more people that would like to upstyle their fashion. We are doing jewelry.
That's good. That's a big market.
Yeah, we're doing jewelry. We're doing clothes that have jewelry on them. We're doing jewelry that have clothing on them. We're doing something fresh, something new. There's a lot of pieces of me that I'm still yet to explore and give to the world. There's a lot of pieces of me that people have already seen and fallen in love with, as a creative that is. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the pivotal moment that we're about to have. It's going to be big. It's going to be life-changing for me. I think everybody's going to enjoy it. But we are leaning towards ready to wear. I think I love to call it like camp, but like ready to wear. You know what I mean? Like maximalism. But I think it can be a piece of everyone.
Coming to your studio, I'm seeing how beautiful your studio is. And having known your brand for quite a while now, I know you work with a lot of local communities, the artisans, the beaders, and you outsource from tailors.
Yes.
London House. I mean, London House, it's like the Savile Row,
of Johannesburg. And people don't take it seriously. I think London House is actually a great concept.
I think designers...
Everybody knows of London House.
Perhaps designers are ashamed to perpetuate it in the light way it is. Because for me, I look at London House as it produces good quality clothing because you have well skilled,
seasoned
craftsmen
and
women in London House. And it's not even from today. It's been like that for years. My dad was telling me that it was a district of tailors, and some of the buildings have collapsed now. But what is the importance, according to you, of integrating local communities? I mean, because you work with this and that to put on maybe just one look, but you get that there's 10 people who are involved. How important is that community?
I think that's what makes the brand. I literally think community is what makes the brand. Behind every great designer, behind every great fashion house, there's like 20 people. There's people that are doing quality control, that are cutting threads off, that are like hanging off. There are people that cut the patterns or made the patterns. There are people that are putting hand sewing, doing hand embroidery for the tags, for instance. I think having a community of people is literally what the brand is. The brand can never be, or I've never seen, maybe it can, but I've never seen a successful brand become successful without having people like the people in London House. Do you understand what I mean? Places like London House, like Magnet House, like Victoria Yards, is really where designers get to put their work on the map, or put their work out there, or to have work to put out there, rather. Not put their work on the map, but like to have work to be presented to people, to customers, to enthusiasts. You know what I mean? Because I source out from there. I've worked with great tailors and great like crafts women that help me like day in day out, and those people are so dedicated. They will stay up all night if need to, and you will get what you need to get, and then you package all of that hard work into a little box, and then you go and you present and you tell the story, but you forget about the people, you know. But I think like those people are really the backbone of production, like hands down, hands
I agree.
down.
I
If you're
completely
looking
agree.
for designers or like for tailors, if you just from the first floor, and it's like 12 floors, you can find someone that knows how to sew, you can find embroidery, you can find printing, you can find like beading, you can find suiting, you can find denim, you can find like there's so many places in there that are so important to just production in fashion and like making your brand be able to have tangible items, like making or being able to take out your ideas and put them into a t-shirt or put them into a dress or put them into a belt. You can literally go to London House for eyelets, like just eyelets, just buttonholes.
You know, when I first worked at Masango, that's when I got to experience London House fully. And for me, it was a shock that there is this independent house designated for designers. Because when I used to work for Zama Swazi, he was in Newtown, and there were designers even in that district as well. And the biggest shock for me was that people don't know about this. It's not put out. I mean, I follow my favorite couture house is Christian Dior. I love when they do their savoir-faire documentaries. They will show from Monsieur Lesage to where they do their pleating to the artisans that create, if there's a specific yarn they want or a specific textile they want, they will show the production cycle, which it's not only for the marketing. However, it actually gets to respect beyond the name of the designer themselves.
Yes.
Do you think we do that enough in South Africa, looking at how London House is so huge and there's a lot of people behind the work, but it's like designers don't have time to give it a thorough, dignified appreciation on their pages and on television, on socials?
I think it's done. I just think it's done beyond London House. I think people present their production in a very pretty box. You know, like I would love to show you my busy day when I go to London House and I'm fighting with my tailors and things like that. But it's only done when I've already have Karabo Studios in its house and I have my in-house people. That's when the production is shown. And I think Christian Dior does that as well. Like they show when it's in the house of Christian Dior. It doesn't
Even when it's not.
even when it's not. Okay,
Even when
fair.
it's not, like from who they are, from where they outsource. I know Maria Gratachuri worked with one of the sculptors who's based in Cape Town in South Africa.
Yes.
When they work with women in Greece, when they work with, they will always show, they will travel there, and they let the people tell the story of what their brands
Yeah.
are all about and where they started and the history of those individual brands and how it marries into Christian Dior and the collections that they make. It makes you look at the clothes beyond the lens of the designer. However, as a community, even when you wear it, you will feel eventually that I'm not just wearing Karabo Studios, but I'm wearing the story of a Malawian tailor who is based in London House and a South African seamstress, you know,
Yes.
and so and so who did this and that. So you wear a community,
Basically, you're wearing Africa.
right?
Yeah.
Even beyond.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm yet to see that being done more, especially from big houses, because we know big names in South Africa and we just know the clothes. And as a result, people often undermine their clothing to say, why are you charging us 11,000 Rand for a golf t-shirt?
Yes.
But because
And they love to do that with my Xhosa.
I think we have a responsibility as designers as well, because whether we like it or not, Africa and South Africa, as much as we are ahead, however, the information, we can't expect it to be available to everyone. We need to take it consciously and bring it to our audience so that when I say I'm selling you this shirt for 25,000 Rand, you are well informed about the cotton that was sourced and where it was sourced, how this was bleached and dyed, and how this is sustainable, and how this can pass 10 generations from now. That is why it costs that much.
I think I agree with you to a certain level. A lot of the people, I think, that are actually interested, no. And then it comes to the people that are usually the biggest critiques that are saying, I'm not paying 20,000 Rand for a shirt. Are people that really don't know anything about the fashion production and fashion like industry in itself, or like the ecosystem of the fashion industry. Like I've been to Mathosa's fashion house, right? And it's like everything is done there. Like everything from the print, to the print, to the yarn, to making the yarn into print, to making that print that you've done, that square into a skirt, into a this. There's tens and thousands of like steps in order to get to that one thing. But that I know that because one, I was working for them and I am interested. You cannot like a new money nigga won't know. He just wants to wear it because come across. And then he's gonna brag about it. It's gonna be like it's 45,000 rands. And then people are gonna be like, why are you wearing a 45,000 rand t-shirt?
So you're basically saying there's
a lot of people
it's a dual relationship.
Yes, people are not interested. I'm not gonna force feed you my brand if you are basically coming at it as like,
okay,
you know what I mean? And I don't think also it's designers' responsibility to appeal to everyone. Yes, it is our responsibility to teach people that are interested, me thinks, to teach people that are interested about the process of our production, and those things are really important. I think the more people know, even the people that are interested, I think they should have that information out there to know like why actually is it like that expensive? I actually want to know. Actually want to know and understand. Do you understand what I mean? But a lot of people come to or approach fashion and design in South Africa, especially luxury fashion in South Africa, as like, there's no way a black person can cost that much. You can't. You know, like, let's release the Bantu mind from that.
I do believe that we do need to be patient with our audience, especially in Africa, because fashion has existed long ago in Africa. However, we have never really taken it how the Europeans do. And as a result, it really does affect us because our own people buy a lot of international brands than ours.
That's true.
And that shows that there is that gap. They desire to wear our own, however, they undermine it because they believe it's not on the standard of the our European counterparts.
I think it's also like familiarity. Like, it's that thing, like Tebe could have been my neighbor. You know, the further the European things are, the more like people are like, surely it must be expensive. Like the more they trust it. But if I'm like your neighbor.
Karabo.
Ow. Ow.
But Karabo get it
Jali. Unka se don't like such 20,000. And if Mara Christian Dior is developing those same practices that we're doing, actually, that they are appropriating actually our shwe and umbako and all those things. It's like, you know what I mean?
It's luxury.
You know what I mean? It's ke luxury mara ke ko ya Basotho. Ke modianyeho. But you won't buy it from me as a fashion designer from South Africa that knows more about the Lesotho culture or about Basotho or about Maxhosa or about Mazulu, and saying I'm doing this thing inspired by these people in a more luxurious manner. And you're like, no, there's no way. I use different kinds of beads, or I developed it in a different way, or I made it in a different way. I used artisans that like are getting paid well.
That's another sustainable
Like
practice.
are getting paid well. I think people are also like, no, get lalo bitsa brother John. Wako next door. I never. Awena 30,000. But I'm like, if I'm doing it, then I'm making sure that my people are getting paid well. Then in that getting paid well, like I get to patala motho like 200 for a couture dress.
How is that important? As a startup designer who is running a fairly new small business, which is a house, how is it important for you to be sustainable within your brand as far as the wages and the salaries are concerned, to actually meet the minimum wage and to pay people for what they are worth?
I don't wanna
Despite the
lie.
difficulties of like the financial constraints
Yeah.
that you might encounter. How is that important for you as a startup brand?
I think it's just the humanity of it all. Like I genuinely think it's just the humanity of it all. I hate paying people peanuts. I think it's unfair. Do you understand? That's why I'd rather give you more work.
Have you been paid peanuts before?
Yes.
Then that is why you don't want it as well.
But I get it. I get it. Sometimes there's no money. Like sometimes there's really no money. But like I'm actually at the point where I need an assistant, like someone that's gonna run around with me. But I can't afford an assistant. But the amount of work that I'm getting needs an assistant. But I don't have enough money to pay an assistant like consistently. That's why a lot of the tailors that I work with, I do commission work. You get me? So it's difficult to navigate because sometimes there's literally no money to pay, but just that 500 rand. Do you get me? But I think to a certain extent, there's a lot of exploiting that there is. And for me, I think as part of my business, I would like to pay people enough to feed their families, to feed themselves, to live a good life. I don't want someone at Karabo Studios and then like can barely pay rent, but you are there day in, day out, like, and you are working. Like when I call you at 10 p.m., you are there. I just think that's unfair. I think that's really unfair.
I agree. Tell us, what are you currently working on? I've seen you've worked with the likes of Thusi. I mean, that's big. You've worked with Moozlie.
Yeah.
And beyond just celebrities,
those are my girls.
You've dressing people. That's big itself,
Yeah.
because fashion is not just about dressing celebrities. If you're able to dress someone to wear your garments, that is huge. They can easily go to any retail outlet and wear and buy clothes.
I agree.
So you've been doing really amazing work, and I must say, big up.
Thank you.
What are you currently working on?
Currently, I think I'm about to full-time be working with Pearl a lot. She's like my little Barbie doll. Like I love dressing her up because she's so easy to work with.
I love it.
I love like working with Pearl and Moose really put me on the map. I think also I manifested it. Like when I started this year, I was like, I want to be more intentional about the things that I'm doing. I don't want to just make because people want it. I want to make things that I feel like I had an input in. Like when we did the Z Nation thing, Moozlie, like it was a Mugler inspired thing. And I was like, those are things that I'm interested in. I was sick, but I did it. And like I love working with people like that like push me. Like nobody pushes me like no Muzima Bena. Yo. And we always do
I love Moozlie. I love Moozlie. I love creatives and figures who are in the public eye, who stand for something and who have an entire aesthetic that speaks to the craft that they do. For me, I feel like you really are, you respect what you do so much to even put it on how you look, you know what I mean? And I think as designers as well, I mean, for Jodori, my brand, I don't really favor celebrity culture that much. However, I favor the culture of being an individual and standing for something.
Yes.
And whether you're a celebrity or you're a lady next door, if you want to tell a story with your clothing or you want to dress intentionally in a specific direction, not just to look pretty, but in a way that can be very multi-generational, that's timeless. Because when you just show up, we need to feel some type of way, and you also need to feel some type of way based on how you dress. and you are working with people that you say you've manifested working with figures that actually can align well with your brand.
Yes.
Do you think that is a tip for a lot of designers to say, don't just take any client because say they're a celebrity? You must work with people who align well with what
Yeah, I
you
think that's
do.
why, like, the people ask me, like, are celebrities difficult to work with? The ones that I'm working with are great. Love them loads. I think that's the thing, because they are a public figure, you automatically like grab onto the opportunity. But it doesn't really align with the kind of designer you want to be. Do you understand what I mean?
True.
Like, and then you're just making things, and then it becomes difficult for you guys to understand each other. I think for me with Moose, like, we align on a lot of things. Like, we love jewelry and we love skin out. So we're gonna design like
One
that.
thing about you, come winter, come autumn, come rain, thunder, your skin is out. But I love that.
I'm
because-
fully dressed right now.
No, I get it, but maybe it's because of this interview. You know,
I'm
I'm
trying
one
to be
person who covers-
respectful.
like I cover my body to the fullest. I even cover my head sometimes.
Yes, you do.
What I love, and I must tell you about how you dress. You know, there's a very fine line between being techie and being sexy. Being
Yeah.
sexy, you don't really need to show your skin, but you can show your skin and make it look like you are fully clothed. And you
Yeah.
can tell with the comfortability and how you make it look intentional.
Yeah, thank
And you
you.
own it really well. Like you can go into a business meeting with your shorts and your crop top, and no one will look at you in a
Yeah.
objectification manner, but they will
Yeah.
look at you as a whole creator because you own it really well.
Thank you.
And I think the ladies that you work with as well, they make it look like that when they DJ and everything else. You don't look at Pearl and objectify her. You will look at her and respect her because you know the type of person she is, even when you don't really know her from a personal level. And I love that women are owning it and they're making it, look that easy.
Yes, I think so. I think so as well. I think working with them really like ignited a fire up my ass. Like, they made me feel like I get excited. Like,
Oh man.
Pearl and Moose stress me out to the core, but I get excited when I'm making
Healthy
these things.
stress.
It is healthy stress. That's the only stress. Like, there, I don't pay with my mental health. Like, I've paid with my mental health this year, né? But there, I don't pay with my mental health. Like, it's just a couple of days ago, just last week, like, Pearl called me and she's like, I'm having an event in my house. I don't know what I'm wearing. And she sent an Uber. I picked out outfits, and I'm like, that's like what I want to do, because I put the outfits out. And she wore it exactly how I did it.
That is fulfilling.
Like, she wore it exactly how and I love it when people
Oh,
trust.
man.
Like, I keep saying this, I love it when people trust me, because that means like you understand the kind of creative that I am, the kind of designer that I am, and that's why you hired me.
Isn't it fulfilling when someone needs something from you and you are able to save the day and they wear what you made for them and you see them do what
I
they
just
do
love
best?
it when they listen. Because
Yeah.
like, I love it when they listen, because that means you understand.
And
Because
they trust you.
trust the fact that I know somewhat more, and what I'm doing right now is gonna work. Like, you trusting that I'm gonna work. I think I put Pearl in the most not craziest things, but in the crazy things, and she just puts it on. Like, oh, this skirt, yes, puts it on. Like, if I say no to that, it's a no, and she keeps it moving. And that's how Zendaya became Lo Roach's muse. By the way. So
Just a closing statement from you before you give us your contact details. Please tell us what your 2025 look like, and from a manifestation point of view, what is it that Karabo Studios is tapping into in 2025?
I think I'm tapping into more bodies of work.
I love that.
Yeah, I want to do bodies of work. I want to do art. I want to do, if I could do an installation at the end of the year, that would be great.
Stunning.
Like an exhibition or something like that. I've always wanted to do one of those things. Like, I'm gonna do bodies of work. I think that's where I'm going to be. I am completely changing the look of Karabo Studios. Like, what you see right now is probably going to change in the next couple of months. But it's exciting. I think everybody should be excited. It's a good thing. It's an amazing thing. It's gonna be amazing. I think it's gonna be, you're gonna feel like you're wearing me.
I can't wait to wear Karabo Studios.
Thank you so
I can't
much.
wait to sit down and observe your fashion show. I can't wait to come into your installations. And next time I come with artisanal fashion discourses, probably we will shoot in your studio
Yes,
with
with
everyone
all the
working. I mean, now
things.
it's December,
Yeah.
but with everyone working and get to see most of your pieces.
Yes.
However, you will show us what you want to show us for now, but we'll take a break and then we'll just look at whatever you have in store for us.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for chatting to us. Where can
Thank
people
you for
find you?
having me. This was lovely. I love having conversations like this. You can contact me on Instagram, which is Karabo Studios Official, or Keketso Karabo. I work on both. Those are both my
Professional platforms.
professional platforms. And my email address is kekenthibane@gmail.com.
Lovely.
Yeah, website coming soon. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I've been working on that website for years. But yeah, I think next year I'm really cementing myself as a designer. That's what you can expect from me. Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone.